Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. Let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Consider the following statements. The Dandi March was a part of the non-cooperation movement. At the time of Dandi March, Lord Curzon was the Viceroy of India. We have to select the correct statement. D is going to be the correct answer. The Prime Minister paid tributes to Mahatma Gandhi and all the eminent persons who marched to Dandi in order to protest injustice and protect our nation's self-esteem. The Dandi March was an act of non-violent civil disobedience led by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, and the march lasted from 12th March 1930 to 6th April 1930 as a direct action campaign of tax resistance and non-violent protests against the British salt monopoly. At Dandi, thousands more followed his lead, and in the coastal cities of Bombay and Karachi, Indian nationalists led crowds of citizens in making salt. The Viceroy of India at the time of the Dandi March was Lord Irwin. Consider the following statements. Regarding medical and wellness tourism, it is described as a practice of traveling across international borders to obtain healthcare services. Most of the medical tourists in India come from Eastern European countries. Prashad scheme was launched by the Ministry of Tourism to increase medical tourism in the country. As we have to select the correct statement, only the first is correct, A is the correct answer. In order to promote India as a medical and wellness tourism destination, the Ministry of Tourism has formulated a national strategy and roadmap for medical and wellness tourism. Medical and wellness tourism is described as the rapidly growing practice of traveling across international borders to obtain healthcare services. It may be broadly classified into three categories: medical treatment, wellness and rejuvenation, alternative cures. According to statistics, India receives most of the medical tourists from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Oman, Bangladesh, Maldives, Nigeria, Kenya and Iraq. Prashad scheme was launched by the Ministry of Tourism with the objective of holistic development of identified pilgrimage destination. Which of the following fundamental rights are available to foreigners in India? Article 19, Article 14, Article 26, Article 29. We have to select the correct code. Second and third, option B is the correct answer. Recently, the Union government urged the Supreme Court to help lay down a law on the subject of foreigners' right to approach local courts for relief after violating their visa conditions. Fundamental rights available only to the citizens of India and not foreigners are Article 15, prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. Equality of opportunity in matters related to public employment, Article 16. 6 basic freedoms subject to reasonable restriction, Article 19. Protection of language, script and culture of minorities, Article 29. Fundamental rights under Article 14 and 26 are available to foreigners as well. Article 14 is equality before law and equal protection of law, and 26 is related to freedom to manage religious affairs. Consider the following statements. India celebrates 15th March as National Consumer Day every year. The theme for World Consumer Rights Day 2022 is Fair Digital Finance, and the Consumer Protection Rules 2020 are advisory in nature. We have to select the correct statement. Only second is correct. B is the correct answer. World Consumer Rights Day is celebrated every year on March 15 to highlight the power of consumers and their rights for a fair, safe and sustainable marketplace for everyone. However, India celebrates 24 December as National Consumer Day every year, and on this day, the Consumer Protection Act 1986 had received the assent of the President and came into effect. This year, the theme for World Consumer Rights Day is Fair Digital Finance. Now, the Consumer Protection Rules 2020 are mandatory, not advisory. The rules also prohibit the e-commerce companies from manipulating the price of the goods or services to gain unreasonable profit through unjustified prices. Moving on. Consider the following statements. BIMSTEC was established by the Bangkok Declaration of 1997. All the members of BIMSTEC are also a part of SAARC. We have to select the correct statement. A is the correct answer. Sri Lanka is all set to host BIMSTEC Summit 2022 on March 30th. The Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation is a regional multilateral organization. It was established by the Bangkok Declaration of 1997. Its members lie in the littoral and adjacent areas of Bay of Bengal, constituting a contiguous regional unity. Out of the 7 members, 5 are from South Asia: Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal, Sri Lanka. 2 from Southeast Asia: Myanmar and Thailand. Members of SAARC are 8 countries: India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Bhutan, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Consider the following statements. National Financial Reporting Authority is a statutory body. It is an independent regulator for the enforcement of auditing standards. It can probe all listed companies and unlisted public companies. So we have to select the correct statement. B is the correct answer. The National Financial Reporting Authority was constituted on 1st October 2018 by the Government of India under Section 132 Clause 1 of the Companies Act 2013. Therefore, it is not a statutory body. It was established as an independent regulator for enforcement of auditing standards and ensuring the quality of audits. This was done so as to enhance investor and public confidence in financial disclosure of companies. It can also investigate professional misconduct committed by members of the IICAI for the prescribed class of body corporates or persons. It can probe listed companies and those unlisted public companies having paid up capital of no less than rupees 500 crore or annual turnover of no less than rupees 1000 crore. Consider the following statements with respect to semiconductors. Semiconductors can be made only from silicon. The birth history of semiconductors can be traced back to the invention of the rectifier in 1874. We have to select the correct statement. Second is correct. B is the correct answer. Supply of semiconductors, which plummeted due to COVID-related disruption, is now being threatened once again by the Ukrainian crisis. Semiconductors possess specific electrical properties and they are substances with properties somewhere between insulators and conductors. Integrated circuits and electronic discrete components such as diodes and transistors are made of semiconductors. Common elemental semiconductors are silicon and germanium. The birth history of semiconductors can be traced back to the invention of rectifier in 1874. Consider the following statements with respect to the pre-notification of flight testing of ballistic missile agreement. It was signed between India and Pakistan in 2005. Under this, the testing country must ensure that the launch site is not within 75 kilometers of either the international boundary or line of control. We have to select the correct statement. Second is correct. First is correct. Consider the following statements with respect to the pre-notification of flight testing of ballistic missile agreement. It was signed between India and Pakistan in 2005. Under this agreement, the testing country must ensure that the launch site is not within 75 kilometers of either the international boundary or the line of control. We have to select the correct statement. First is correct. A is the correct answer. Now, as we speak, the Defence Minister of India had made a statement in both the houses of the Parliament today regarding the accidental firing of a missile. The pre-notification of flight testing of ballistic missiles agreement was signed in 2005. Also, the testing country must ensure that the launch site is not within 40 km and the planned impact area is not within 75 km of either the IB or the LOC. Each country must provide the other an advance notification on flight test it intends to take for any land or sea launch surface-to-surface ballistic missile. Before the test, the country must issue notice to air missions or navigational warnings to alert aviation pilots and seafarers respectively. The Museum of the Future, which was recently in the news, is situated in which of the following countries? UAE is the correct answer. The Museum of the Future in Dubai was recently thrown open to the public. It was inaugurated by the Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE. On February 23rd, the museum reportedly takes the visitors on an experiential journey, transporting them to the year 2071 to coincide with the centenary of the founding of UAE. Consider the following statements with respect to the report of the Sample Registration System 2019. Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Jharkhand were the three youngest states, while Kerala and Tamil Nadu were the oldest states. Kerala reported the highest number of female births, while Uttarakhand reported the lowest number of female births. We have to select the correct statement. Both are correct. C is the correct answer. The report of the Sample Registration System for 2019 has been released by the Office of the Registrar General and Census Commissioner, Ministry of Home Affairs. It is carried out in India with the objective of providing reliable annual estimates of birth rate, death rate, infant mortality rate, and various other fertility and mortality indicators. Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Jharkhand were the three youngest states, while Kerala and Tamil Nadu were the oldest. The share of young people in Jharkhand and Madhya Pradesh was 33.5% and 29.1% respectively in 2019. Kerala and Tamil Nadu were the oldest states with an elderly population of 12.9% and 11.3% respectively of the total population. Among the states, Kerala reported the highest number of female births in 2017 to 19, while 968 females born every 1,000 males. Uttarakhand has the lowest number of female births in 2017-19. Moving on. Consider the following statements with respect to Slovakia. It is a country in Central Europe. Bratislava is the capital. It is bordered by Poland, Ukraine, Hungary, Australia, and Czech Republic. So we have to select the correct statement. D is the correct answer. Russia's foreign ministry has recently said that it will respond in kind to Slovakia's expulsion of Russian diplomats. It is a landlocked country in Central Europe. The capital is the largest city is Bratislava, while the second largest city is Kosice. It is bordered by Poland to the north, Ukraine to the east, Hungary to the south, Australia to the southwest, and the Czech Republic to the west. Moving on. Consider the following statements regarding CAG, Comptroller and Auditor-General of India. Under the Government of India Act 1935, the AG became independent of the government. It is appointed, he or she is appointed by the President with a tenure of 5 years or 65 years of age. They are ineligible to hold any office either under the Government of India or of any state once he or she retires or resigns as a CAG. So we have to select the correct statement. That's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.